Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about a classic crime drama, Dirty Harry, starring Clint Eastwood. I picked up a 4-video set recently, I think at Walmart, of the first 4 Dirty Harry movies, so over the next few months I'll probably be reviewing them all. And last night my wife and I watched it with the commentary track, which is done by Clint Eastwood's personal historian, which is fascinating on many levels. How many human beings do you know who have personal historians? I think it could be argued that Dirty Harry is the quintessential crime drama. I've heard a film critic once say that the Dirty Harry movies are wonderful snapshots of the eras where they were made, that each one reflects the political structure that was in the world at the time the film was made. And Dirty Harry was made in an era when the Americans had begun to shift and realize that suspected criminals, people who had just been arrested, have rights. It's the era of Miranda, when police were then required to start telling suspects that they have a right to remain silent, a right to counsel, you know the whole idea. And this was a radical concept for some people. And the movie really plays on that. It shows that, yes, there were police who were willing to step over the line, who were willing to literally step on the rights of the accused. But it also showed how those rights that were being extended to those suspects could hamper police work. Now, to my mind, hampering police work is not the goal, but if it's done properly, Miranda isn't a hamper, it's a regulation. It keeps people from using excess force, from using questionable tactics. The police are already allowed to use things which I consider questionable already, and that's under Miranda. Without Miranda, things get pretty close to a police state, which is a bad thing, particularly in a democracy. But the character of Harry Callahan is a mirror, in some ways, being held up to society. Now, Eastwood has said that he really didn't want to make the 4th and 5th Dirty Harrys. He did it as basically an obligation to the studio. I'll make this commercial success if you let me do a bunch of films that, are going to not be a commercial success, but I want to do anyway. And I can understand why he made them. I happen to like the first 4 of them. I think that the last one was a little weak, though I freely admit it's been a very long time since I've seen it, so I'm hoping I can pick up a copy at some point. But this film is fascinating because the pacing is very casual in many ways. Yes, there are intensely violent and intensely action-packed scenes, but there is a meter to the film. No jump cuts, no shaky cam, no modern MTV-style editing characteristics. And I'm discovering that I miss that I enjoy that more gradual pacing. As over the course of the film, Harry is becoming more and more obsessed with finding and stopping Scorpio. More and more completely and utterly unhinged. A seething ball of rage, barely constrained by his humanity, when he realizes that he's dealing with someone that you can't reason with. You're not going to be able to talk Scorpio out of killing people. Scorpio kills people because he likes it. To use the line from Alfred, some men just want to watch the world burn, and Scorpio is one of them. And Eastwood does an incredible job, starting out in this very casual way, a very nonchalant style, and over the course of the film, becoming completely and utterly obsessed with bringing this man to justice. And in this case, justice at the end of that oh-so-famous .44 Magnum. Of course, the line, "This is the most powerful handgun in the world," is no longer true. There are now 50 caliber revolvers in the world, and I believe that there are actually even ones that are slightly larger than that. But at the time, .44 Magnums really were one of the biggest pistols there was, and that phallic symbol in the hand of Clint Eastwood was satire and effective and iconic. Just the way he very casually carried it and held it and used it. And his build, his lanky moves, his casual grace. And he was 41 when he made this, so he wasn't a young man. He was only 5 years younger than I am. And yet he still moved like a man in his prime. And he gave you the impression that he really was in that body. You know what I mean? He was really present in that character. And the supporting cast is excellent. I really was impressed with, even with the commentary track, so I'm not watching the whole entire thing with the perfect context. Still, the supporting cast was so well done. These actors really brought to the film that they lived inside those roles, and I respect that so much. Even though some of the roles weren't huge, they did such a good job. There was a texture to the film that, even though it's from an earlier era, an era that is often depicted as being less than realistic with Just Cause in many films, I really felt it came across as the real world, and I appreciated that. I really enjoyed watching this, and I'm looking forward to the other 3 Harry films I've got on available at the moment. I can understand how this film in some ways made Eastwood the icon he is today. The "Do you feel lucky" punk line, which was stolen by political pundits the world over. He was so understated that when he began to become unhinged in the film, it had an impact on you, the viewer. And that right there is artistry as an actor. And the actor who played Scorpio, I apologize, whose name escapes me, did such a wonderful job of bringing that insanity to the character. When he's in control of something, he's unhinged, and yet when he's in the defensive position, he's this whimpering, crippled child. And that mix made him so much worse. It was just masterfully done. It really was. So I'm very pleased to say that I've got these films at my disposal, and I'm going to be watching them and enjoying them over the next couple months. Harry Potter is, like I said, quite possibly the quintessential crime drama, with a single, that single driving force behind a cop character. And remember, they call him Dirty Harry because he gets the crap end of the stick.